Today I wanted to come on and talk about some of the things that we've been able to accomplish in the last several weeks. Number one, we've had the doors. All the doors for the house are in place. Number two, the kitchen and the bathroom cabinetry has already been installed. Right now, the contractors who are doing that job are on site, just fixing some of the alignment issues and some of the deficiencies that we found during the last site visit. The main gate to the compound has also been installed. So right now we have a working gate into the compound. The electrical wiring, faceplates, lights, all those have been installed. And the only things that are left when it comes to the electrical is we need to install a solar system and also take care of some of the small little deficiencies that we've identified with the electrical work. The bathroom, all the toilets have been installed, and right now also the only thing we're waiting on is to fix some of the small little deficiencies we've identified, which the main contractor and the plumbing contractor all are aware, and they will rectify in the next several weeks. The sewer system is connected. I opted not to go with the biodigester right now because the costing and some of the civil works that were going to be involved in constructing that biodigester were going to take me out of budget at this time. So I opted to kind of push that down the road towards another date so that we can focus more on completing the inside of the house versus spending money on a sewage system that we can take care of on a later date. And also an aluminum sunbreaker that has been installed to the top front window of the main of the living room, which kind of like decreases the amount of sunlight into the house, because right now a little too much light entering the building and causing a little bit of radiant heat. So those are some of the things that have been done. But today I also wanted to talk about the driveway and some of the things that we needed to do so that we can have a driveway not only that can, aesthetically look good with the project, but also provide a clean area, a surface area that is strong enough to withstand some of the vehicles that enter the compound. For example, my brother's truck, he uses to ferry sand. It's one of those tipper trucks, comes in through the gate into the compound where he parks. And that vehicle sometimes, weighs more than 10 tons. So we needed to construct a driveway that can withstand all that weight. So, and as you know from the videos that I've posted, the type of driveway we have at the house is built on an incline. As a matter of fact, from the gate at the top to the bottom of where the house is, there is at least a 1.5 meter drop off in gradient of the house. So that created a slightly big challenge whenever they decided we wanted the driveway to be constructed, because at the very top of the house, if you look at the designs, as soon as you enter the gate, you immediately can turn into the parking carport. So we wanted to lower the driveway low enough so that we don't have a whole lot of water runoff that will enter the carport, but also not have such a sharp drop off as you enter the gate. So a couple of things. Obviously, the civil engineer was contacted and asked to come up with the drawings to actually take care of the driveway. In several videos, I've mentioned that we're going to do a cabro driveway. So how did they get this done? Number one, they actually excavated the entire driveway, decreased the depth all the way down. They got rid of all the cotton soil and as far down as some of the marram, just to create a low enough depth so that when they start stacking the driveway and putting all the materials together to create this cabro driveway, the ground was firm enough. So after excavating the very bottom ground level, and I'm reading this off the plans from the civil engineer, we needed to have at least about 300 millimeter of field dirt. This is not to, you dug down deep enough, but then you still kind of like leveled that very bottom layer with about no more than 300 millimeter, and it's compacted all the way on the ground just to create more of like a flat, smooth surface. After that 300 millimeter layer was laid down of field dirt, then they came up with 150 millimeters of marram. Marram is the yellow clay that sometimes is a little bit more sturdier, that then got compacted down. The next layer above that, it's about 200 millimeters of hand-laid stone. So with this hand-laid stone, what that means is like when we have the guys crushing or breaking the rocks, the big chunk of rocks you see in this video, they will then go by hand and stack those stones in like a pattern. Not necessarily an exact pattern that matches a dress kind of pattern, more like stack it in a way that these stones can create a more stable foundation. Then after that stone bedding was kind of created, then they came on top and dropped off some, we call it vumbi. It's more like a crushed concrete or crushed rock. It's a little bit of a dust rock that you pour right on top to create more of a flat area. And then from there, and then they brought the 60mm cabro, and then they went in and then arranged that cabros one by one. Cabro, for those who are not from Kenya, cabro is nothing but a concrete block, hardened concrete block that is used for like paving roads, like a paving stone. So then they arranged all that from the beginning of the gate all the way to the end of the house. When it came to the construction of the gate itself, what we ended up doing is we kind of replaced both of the walls that when you enter into the compound, both of the walls on the sides were a little bit close. So what they did is they tore down those walls, pushed the walls just a little bit further out, rebuilt all the walls. And at the very bottom, they kind of built a foundation beam that ran across. Several months back, I had asked a few of my family members, what type of gate would they prefer to have? They're going to be the ones at home all the time. And from the feedback they gave me, they preferred a sliding gate versus one of those like swing open kind of type of gates. So whenever they were constructing this gate, they went ahead and built a foundation beam on the ground that extended all the way to the double columns that are standing on the house. And once all that stuff was in place and everything was set, they brought the gate and they were able to mount the gate and actually attach like a motor so that you can push a remote and the gate will slide back and push a remote and do that and close. As a matter of fact, I was talking to my sister and she said they even have an app for the gate where whenever you pull up, you actually don't need a remote in the car. You just pull out your phone, turn on the app and tell the gate to open and boom, you're all set. So that's some of the stuff that they've done on the driveway itself. Of course, it's nothing fancy. It's, this is just typical work, but I wanted to make this video today because I realized I haven't been posting a lot lately because I've been distracted with the work and family itself. I also want to take this time to appreciate everybody that has been commenting, everybody that has been sharing these videos, because one of the highest metrics that I see on this channel is the number of times these videos are being shared. At least about 100 people are sharing these videos once a week. So either they're curious about what's happening in Kisii or they are intrigued and want to learn about the processes that went into creating this unique project that we have in Kisii. So one other thing that we were so keen on making sure that does not become a nuisance was going to be drainage. Because we've added such a big surface area with the roof, we made sure that, hey, we need to collect all that water that is coming from the roof and actually channel it in a way so that it's drained away from the compound. Even with the cabro works, the fact that this is now a paved surface creates more of a runoff where water is now collecting and it needed to be channeled a certain way. From the gate near the carport, the civil engineer had designed like a channel that allowed the water from the, let's say the driveway, when it drains down as if it's headed towards the carport, there will be a channel right there that will then catch that water and then drain it away from the building. The channel has a metal grating that allows for you to drive over. However, any wash off or water that is running off, any runoff from the driveway will be caught right there and then drain obviously to the bottom of the compound and then further on disposed off into the quarry. At this time also, another thing my sister has done is, because we're getting close towards the finish line of this project, there has been a lot of moving parts, and hence the reason why I've also not posted a whole lot. She has also started working on the landscaping. She's put up some flowers, which I think look beautiful. I really don't have any input on that because I'm not an artist, or I'm not a landscape artist or anything like that. So I just let that be her creative design. Whenever you're building a house, it's not just the structure that you're putting down, it's also all the other stuff that's going to go in it that is probably not included in the original quote for the construction of the house. And like, if you're not really paying attention, some of these things will cost an arm and a leg. So stay tuned. Thank you for taking time to watch this video. Until next time, take care of yourself and be kind to one another.